Hello, I'm just going to share on Twitter, just in case anyone wants to join. Uh, Let me see. Look at my YouTube channel. This is going to be an impromptu stream where I'm just going to be reading some books and talking with anyone that comes in. We'll see. If not, it's a good excuse for me to do some reading. Um, the Let me have the mhm, my channel. Let me share my stream. Twitter live. I am live. Come on, questions. Mhm. Okay, so nobody's here yet. Just gonna hang out for a couple of minutes, wait to see if anybody does turn up. I'm not too sure. If not, anybody watching this afterwards, I'm gonna be reading this book called Himalaya by John Keyes, exploring the root of the world because I'm going to the Himalayas very soon. Um, and my step granddad got me this for my birthday. I am also only two chapters away from finishing Blood of the Spirit by Mark Timoney. Earlier today, I have been reading Jessica King's on my Kindle. Not Jessica King's. I read that the Tyranny of Faith, carrying on with that one. Um, Nearing the climax of that, I'm about 83% in. I'm also nearly halfway through Gardens of the Moon. And then I got this chunky beast, the first binding. Hello, one viewer. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while. It's also very cold here, which is why I have a hoodie on. Um, they're gone, but yeah. So I'm probably going to be starting reading with Himalaya. So it's been really interesting so far. Actually, it's about this the British invasion of Tibet, which is obviously a terrible thing. Um, but I hadn't known about it before, and reading about the events in that period of history is something that is very interesting to me, and to learn more about the Himalayas and the people there and different things. That's really cool. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping to do more live stream events and things. I'm hoping to keep this channel kind of like as an author kind of based channel, doing live streams, kind of like Beard of Darkness is doing. He is having a blast over there, doing so well, and inspired me to come back on. And I'm also going to be doing a second channel where I'm going to be doing a kind of deep dive with people that I know, authors, um, adventurers, um, just people with interesting life stories to tell. Kind of like just sitting down with people and hearing their story and how they got to where they are and what they're doing and interesting experiences that they've had in their lives. Um, and I think that could be really cool. And I'm hoping to make a podcast out of that and keep that going as I go around the world on some of my adventures. Um, Anyway, let me check if anyone's coming in. If not, I'm just gonna be reading. I've got a new follow on Twitter. Da-da-da. Sure, I'll give you a follow, Anthony Harold. So you give me a follow. That's very kind. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, I'm just gonna keep reading. Let me just check. It's there. So you're gonna be going for about an hour or so. Mm. And yeah, we'll see who turns up. I'll keep an eye on it. But sprinting. Oh, there we go. There's one viewer. I was just about to start sprinting. Welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Matt, also known as Miggins. I'm gonna be reading a few different books today. Probably gonna be starting with this one, Himalaya, Exploring the Roof of the World. My step granddad got me for my birthday, which was on Monday. It's really cool. I just started reading it, and I'm also very very close to finishing Blood of Despair by Mark Timoney. Um, Feel free to kind of ask any questions or leave any comments. Um, I'm not sure how many viewers I'm going to get here. I was just about to start a reading sprint. So if you want to join in with that, you can, or if you want to ask questions, or even join the stream. If you follow me on Twitter, you can DM me and I'll send you the link to the stream. I'm always down to chat with you guys and have people join me on the stream. It's been a while since I've been here, and I am hoping that I kind of do this more. I probably won't be doing more of my video kind of stuff. It's just a lot to edit, and mentally I'm just not in that space right now. But I'm hoping to have some authors on here, and also I'm hoping to have a second channel where I put my travel and adventure content on, and I talk to people and interview them about their life stories. So here will kind of be author chats and sprints and things, and then I'm gonna have a second channel soon. I'm trying to get my first guest on where I kind of chat with them about their life and how they got to where they are, and kind of diving a little bit deeper. 3 viewers. Oh no, two. It's gone to two. I've lost one of you. Um. Anyway, hey, John. Um. Thank you. Yeah. So I know it's been a while. I just kind of got burnt out a little bit. Um. And that kind of happens in life. So I probably won't be doing any more videos. Hey, Jenny. It's so good to see you guys show up. I've been, yeah. It's been an interesting time. I think with the kind of things that go on with me with my mental health, I kind of have these different periods of passion, and then I kind of get burnt out on that. And so I'm doing better now, and seeing people like Beard of Darkness, book reviews and stuff, do all these live streams and that. It's really encouraged me to kind of come out of the woodwork again, so to speak, and hope you're doing more live stuff. And of course, I've got more of my adventure stuff coming. So in case you don't know, I've been on a trip to Morocco. I looked at my photos the other day. So, most of them are out of focus and terrible and blurry, but some of them were decent. And I'm hoping that I'm going to put a video together. I've also got a little TikTok account, and yeah, so I'm doing all right. So we've got a few books today that we're going to be reading. So I got this from my step granddad the other day for my birthday. It's called Himalaya, which is obviously referring to the mountains. Exploring the Roof of the World by a guy called John Key. I've just started the prologue for that the other day. It's really cool. Bloody Spear, Mark Timoney. I'm about 2 chapters from finishing that. Then I'm also into Malazan. You guys read Malazan? Gardens of the Moon. I'm about 50% into that. And then also this chunky boy, the first binding, R Verdi. And look at that, I got it signed. I can't really show you because of the background, but it's one of the broken binding editions, which is really cool. Anyway, um, let me know what you guys are reading. I was going to do a reading sprint for about 15 minutes, probably starting with Himalaya because it's 5 months to my expedition. I'm going to Everest Base Camp in March, and that's amazing because I've always wanted to do that, and I can't wait. So, um, if I put it up, 15 minutes sprint, and we'll say that we'll come back at 10 past 8. Let me know in the chat what you guys are reading. Yeah, just gonna be reading the prologue, which is about this invasion of Tibet. Oh boy, your TBRs. My TBR is destroyed. I have. I'm literally staring at doom. I would show you, but the Mac doesn't have a back facing camera. But I've got about 56 physical books there or thereabouts, and I've got just under a year to read them all. Uh, so I'm getting very ambitious. I've got to try and read 100 pages a day to try and get through them all. But at least some of them, are shorter, like this one. This is about 300 pages. Anyway, um, let's do this. So let's start off with a sprint. I'll be back at yeah, 10 past, and yeah, try and finish off this prologue. So right in the middle of a skirmish in the midst of the Tibetan plateau. Anyway, yeah, catch up in 15 minutes. Welcome to the second view. We're just sprinting for the next 7 minutes. Oh, well, they're gone now anyway. Hey, Timothy, good to see you. Timothy Wolf, everyone. I have got his wonderful book ready to read at some point when I can get through all the other many wonderful books I've got to read. Um, for anyone just joining, I've just been reading some of this really cool book called Himalaya, Exploring the Roof of the World, and it's quite an academic book, but it's about a region of the world I really find fascinating. The Himalayas, where I will be going in March. I've booked the time off work. I haven't got it approved, but that's because my man's is off at the moment, and nobody's off, and I'm taking a whole month off. So hopefully, I'll get that, and I'll be able to go to Everest Base Camp, which is cool. Anyway, how's everyone doing? What are we all up to? Are we reading anything or are we doing some work? I know Timothy, you working on your second novel, I think. Platinum Tinted Darkness, isn't it? Is the title. I've got it somewhere around here actually. Where was it? It's literally around here. Have I got it? Yes, I do. I found it. There we go. This is Timothy's really awesome cover, everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna take unpaid leave if that's the case. But the good news in my favor is that, like I say, like nobody else is off that entire month. It's not a busy month. I'm back just as it starts to get busy around Easter. Also, the store manager or the current store manager, he's about to leave to go travel for 9 months on his own. Um, well, with his wife, but he really likes that stuff too, so it's really cool. Oh, sleepy time. I don't want to keep you up, Timothy, but yeah, it's cool to have you here. Um, and you and Jenny. It's really nice to see the support, even though I haven't been here in a while. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that I'll have you on the channel at some point, Timothy, and lots of other authors. And I'm hoping, this will be a live stream haven for people like me that, don't get out much and want to talk fantasy and awesome books. And I've got a lot more books since since last I was on here. So yeah. Anyway, I've got all that to look forward to, and then so I got Everest Base Camp in March. Um, and then I'm going to be climbing a 6,000 meter peak called Lobuche East, which is really cool. It's like proper like ice climbing and everything. Um, the insurance is so expensive for it. And then hopefully I'm going to Cancun in July. Although I'm going somewhere in July. I was thinking Cancun, but I've also heard things about it that it's like quite touristy and that it's not really a backpacker scene. And I don't want to like spend a lot of money on a holiday that like I'm just gonna end up kind of like not enjoying because I don't meet anyone and make any friends. I'm just like by myself the whole time. Like, I like being by myself some of the time, but like I do want to meet people. Yeah, it is awesome, and I love the community, and I've been missing that, man, on Twitter. I feel like the community is kind of like fractured a little bit, which is kind of sad. I'm on Blue Sky as well, but I don't check that. I don't get notifications. Like uh, at this point, I'm just like it's like the sunken cost fallacy. Like I'm just so used to Twitter until it like completely obliterates itself. I'm just gonna stay there. But I miss people like John Palladino. He's not on there as much. His Discord seems to have gone a bit quiet. There's a few folks that's just like, oh man, I miss you guys, and there's been a few dramas here and there, but ultimately, we're all here to share love fantasy, so that's why I want to come back on here. I was making funny videos and doing crazy things, and that was cool, but like yeah, I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep up with the expectations of BookTube, but doing something live, I think, is where I'm kind of at, where I feel more natural. But yeah, hello Rachel. Um, Yeah, yeah, having a good day. Got the day off today, and I'm surrounded by some really awesome books, so that's always amazing. Anyway, yeah, how are you doing, Rachel? Are you reading anything today? Um, it's good to know that people are still coming back, and hopefully you get some good reading, some good sprinting done. Um, yeah, but the problem that I have with making such good friends with such wonderful authors is that my TBR pile keeps going up and up, and I have a definite limit because I'm leaving the country for good in like well for good for like at least like permanently for like 5 years, which sounds like an oxymoron. What I mean is that I'm gonna visit 2.5 years after I've left, but I'm not actually moving back. Or I don't see myself moving back until probably a good 4 or 5 years. So, all these physical copies that I've got, all these wonderful books, I'm gonna have to say goodbye to. And I've made the mistake of not getting them all on Kindle. Um, Although, that would be very expensive as well to buy them all on Kindle and physical. Um, so yeah, I need to stop buying all these cool books because yeah, getting the Kickstarters, all these deluxe edition Kickstarters, they're hitting my bank account, and I've just got a credit card recently, which is a dangerous thing when there's all these Kickstarters about. Ah, that's cool. So you're going for your novel. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that it must be interesting reading your own work. I don't think I'm cut out to be an author. I'm trying to trying to do some screenwriting. I'd really love to get into that. Um, I got some ideas batting about, and I met some cool people at work the other day. Actually, I was networking. I got some actors' numbers, and I've also got a really cool project coming out that I can't say too much about. There's been a teaser of it, but I worked on an audio drama that should be coming out in November, the pilot, and I am so excited to get it out because this has been like 3 years of work. Not like consistently, it's been like sporadic, but it's a labor of love for myself and the project manager John, um, and I'm hoping it's the start of something in the industry. Yeah, yeah. So I'm doing this kind of Indiana Jones kind of thing, um, but you have to wait and see. The idea is that we're going to release a pilot for free for everyone in sometime early November, is what I'm hearing from John, our director, and then we're going to do a Kickstarter based off of that and fund the rest of it, because John's funding this all himself out of his own money for the pilot. And then we're hoping that we can kickstart the rest of the series, and I'm gonna be doing some interviews with people and stuff, and that's really awesome because I love telling stories and making stories. I'm not an author, but um, yeah, yeah, exactly. We want to do something that brings a love of Indiana Jones back because I liked the Crystal Skull. Okay, I liked it. Now it might be because I was a kid when I saw it, and but I think it holds up. The latest one, I couldn't finish it. Because it was very clear that Harrison Ford was an old man and that he doesn't do like barely any stunts in it, and that all the set pieces are designed to be like the bare minimum of what he could do. Like it was not Indiana Jones. Like if you love it, that's wonderful and I'm happy for you, but it was not Indiana Jones for me. Mark, I got your book here. I got your book here. So we've got two chapters left to go. You can listen to that on audio. I'm hoping I'm gonna finish that this weekend because I need to finish it and read Starbinder because I think I know who Starbinder is about in the novella, and I'm really excited for that. Wonderful to have you, Mark. Anyway, I'm going to be reading some more of the Himalaya by the historian John Key. It's 20 past 9 here, so I'm going to say another 15-minute sprint. Sprinting back at, back in 15 minutes. Yeah, Wrong opinions on Jones. I mean, I really wanted to like it. I watched like 3/4 of it, and I really, really, really wanted to like it, and I just couldn't. Like, I really enjoyed the Crystal Skull. I oh, perfect timing, Mark. That's awesome. I'm like finishing your book as you're writing the second one. That's so cool. But yeah, I really like the Crystal Skull. I know it gets a lot of crap, but I really liked it. The latest one, I was one of the people that was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna really work. It's gonna be awesome. It looks really good." And then yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be sprinting back in 15 minutes. I, I mean, maybe it's nostalgia. I was a kid when I saw it like 9. That was my first indie movies in cinemas. But yeah, I quite like it. I think there's a few weird bits in it, but other than that, that's like I can deal with that. Like weird CGI bits. I it had everything I needed in it. Whereas the last one just yeah, I wish I just left it. Anyway, 15 minutes sprinting, gonna be reading about the Himalayas. Welcome back. Um, so I'm just about, well, it says 10 pages in. I'm 10 pages into the first chapter. I'm actually about 56 pages in because the prologue's like 40 pages. It's really interesting, actually. I don't understand most of it, or a lot of it, but it's asking these questions about um, the origins of the Himalayas, and there's all like these fossils of like sea life up there, which raises the question of as John Key describes it, how did the palms and hippos find their way into Tibet? How did the limestone and fossils get there? How did the mountains get up there? And this book kind of answers that. There's some really beautiful passages in this book as well. Um, a wizard did it, yeah. You know what? Somebody should write a book. You should write a book about that, Rachel. Um, here you go. Where is it? Here's the first paragraph. It's really cool. Um, so this is in the prologue. Visitors to Darjeeling, which is in northern India, I believe, are urged to rise early. From this ramshackle city, slung across once lush hillsides at the northern apex of the Indian state of West Bengal, the best chance of a close encounter with the world's most spectacular urban backdrop comes at first light. Even then, you may be disappointed. Kangcheng, Kangchenjunga, which is a mountain, also known as Kangchenzonga, our planet's third highest mountain, is like the tiger in the forest, ever out there, but not readily spotted. Or, more accurately, it's ever up there. Instead of straining towards some pearly peak on a distant horizon, you need to crane backwards. The mountain is overhead, and though the snows of its summit are billowed in cloud, should it deign to disrobe, be prepared for a vision. You are standing beneath an apotheosis, a shy, radiant deity. Even empire builders never forgot their first sighting of Kangchenjunga. Isn't that just like magical? That makes me just want to get on a plane and fly straight to Darjeeling, like straight away, because that's where all the Everest expeditions started. And some of the ways these people describe some of these sites is just incredible. Where's the other one that was really, really good? There was another really, really cool. Um, mm, yeah, so there's two more that I really want to read to you because they're really cool. Okay. So this is so basically some little context. So basically, the British are invading Tibet. They denied it, but they are invading Tibet. And there's a correspondent from the Daily Mail, which totally random, right? Following them in 1903, and this is what he had to say. So they're trying to get to the capital city of Lhasa, because they want to force a treaty on the Dalai Lama and the Tibetans. So they're nearly at Lhasa. The last obstacle looks to be the Sangpo Brahmaputra, the great artery of southern Tibet. Sighting the river from the last pass, Candler, who's this journalist for the Mail, was reminded of the Thames. And this is his quote: "In the heart of Tibet, we had found Arcadia. Homesteads were dotted among the cornfields and shaded by trees, real trees, not dwarfish and stunted in the struggle for existence, but stately and spreading. After the tundra of tuna and the dirt of Fari, everything is homelike." And this is the really cool quote: "I would have stayed there. Lhasa was only 4 marches distant, but to me, in that mood of almost immoral indolence, it seemed that this strip of verdure, with its happy pastoral scenes, was the most impassable barrier that nature had planted in our path. Like the Tibetans, she had menaced and threatened us at first. Then she turns to us with smiles and cajoleries, entreating us to stay, and her seduction was hard to resist. Isn't that like really cool imagery that the British have, well, let's let's be honest, have massacred the Tibetans, which is absolutely horrendous, on their way to Lhasa, and they faced, fierce pushback, and they're finally nearly there, and then they see this site that reminds them of home, and they call it Arcadia, and it's not the fierce resistance of the Tibetans that nearly stops them. It's Mother Nature. It's this seductive scenic viewpoint. Isn't that just wonderful? And then the final one is this Colonel Younghusband, who, by the way, is an awful racist and an awful man, but he does write this really cool thing. Um, so where should I do? So this is kind of his road to Damascus moment. So he calls it the euphoria induced one of his road to Damascus moments. On an early morning ride into the mountains, there came upon me what was far more than elation or exhilaration. I was beside myself with an intensity of joy, and with this indescribable joy came a revelation of the essential goodness of the world. I was convinced past all refutation that men at heart are divine. That single hour on leaving Tibet was worth all the rest of a lifetime. Isn't that such a cool quote? I was convinced past all refutation that men at heart are divine. I'm not sure I agree with that sentiment, but it's a really cool one. Um, so yeah, it's a really cool book, and so I'm just sort of learning how the Himalayas were formed, and then further down the line it goes into the exploration, the mountains, the mountaineering kind of history, which is more what I'm interested in. But it's really cool to see how it's formed, and the first binding by R. Verdi kind of takes place in that world. Although at the moment we're kind of in this little place on the left here of the map, which is basically um, ancient Spain. Um, but this cradle of civilization where these great rivers, the Indus and the Ganges, they kind of come together and these mountains tower above you. It's like, the cradle of the gods in a way. And to read about that in these books, and to read about it in these fantasy books is really cool. Yes, Jenny, I will. I will, and I cannot wait. It's crazy. I'll have to show you guys my schedule, uh, itinerary. That's the word. Um, but I was looking at it because so to talk a bit about my Morocco trip. And I will get back to your comment, Rachel. But it was 6 days of hiking, and it was we'd start off in the morning, set off early to avoid the sun, apart from the first day, and then by midday we'd kind of be done, and there'd be optional kind of things. But that climb up Tibkal was actually harder than I imagined. And I came back and it was an amazing trip, but I kind of looked at my and I came back and it was about a week later I was at work and I was just scrolling through my itinerary from Nepal at lunchtime, and I was like, holy crap. I've just done 5 days of like full expedition, like hiking, trekking every day, and it was really good. And it wasn't that much trekking involved until we got to Tibkal. But every single day on this expedition, pretty much, apart from like the first and last 3 or 4 days, every single day is like walking up Tibkal. So I've just signed myself up for like walking up Timcat like 14 times. It's a challenge. It's gonna be a big step up, and I hope I can meet it. But yeah, that's really cool, Rachel. I'd love to see the sequoia forests. I have a song that I listen to, like an indie folk kind of song, that talks about the sequoia trees. I'd love to come to America and see the Pacific Northwest and all these amazing, wonderful locations like Yosemite. there's nothing like being out in a mountain, and it's crazy, coming back from Morocco. It's been really hard, like settling back into work. I'm just ready to go. Like it's almost like I had a blindfold on, and then I've seen what I can be doing, and now I'm like, I've just lost all will to kind of like, the same as I had it before, because I know what's coming, and I've kind of lost that motivation. So I'm kind of struggling with that right now at work. I got 360 days left, but yeah, you sleep hard the rest of the day. Yeah, me too. I did a mountain biking day where I cycled 28 miles on this mountain bike when I was in the Lake District recently. And I was absolutely knackered by the end of the day. I mean, I sent it, the whole day, like 5 hours, barely stopping for lunch, just doing these mountain bike trails over and over, and it's amazing. But I was so tired. Yes, Jenny, I'd love to see Colorado and Yellowstone. My aim. So here's my kind of plan, right? So this is the things that are definitely happening. So March, I'm going to Nepal. In July, I'm going somewhere, probably to Cancun, to the Yucatan Peninsula, in Mexico, to swim in cenotes and see the ancient Mayan sites, which would be cool. And then in November, I'm leaving for Thailand. I'm going to do 3 months doing northern Thailand into Laos, then into Vietnam, where I spend a month, and I'll spend Christmas in Vietnam, which would be interesting. And then I'm going to come, down Vietnam, back up into Cambodia, back into Thailand. That's going to take me 3 months ish. And then I've got another 3 months to play with where I might drop down to Malaysia for a bit, but I really want to get to Borneo, to Bali, and then end in um, Manila in the Philippines so that I can get a flight to Australia, see people like NC Cusis, Mark Timoney, and um, then I'm gonna go to New Zealand. So I'm going to spend like 5 days or so in Australia. Go to New Zealand, stay there for a year, and live and work there. Then I'm gonna go to South America, or I'll start off in Mexico and work my way through Central and South America over 9, 10 months. Somewhere between 6 and 10 months. Stop off at home, then back to New Zealand for another year, and then at that point I should be about 30. I'm 24 now. Just had my 24th birthday. Um, and I want to do K2 base camp. So, do Everest base camp for my 25th, K2 for my 30th, and then go to Australia for 3 years. And then the plan after that is, if I don't stay in that part of the world, to then go and do the Pacific Crest Trail for like 6 months and do that. And then I could come home. Now, for definite, I know I'm gonna do New Zealand and Southeast Asia, um, and South America and Central America. After that, I may find a girlfriend, I may settle down. I don't know, but the first 3 years are kind of like I'm doing this. I'm not stopping traveling until I've finished this. Beyond that, going back to Australia and New Zealand and working there and living there for a few years, we'll see. But yeah, um, I'm not. Well, I suppose I probably will be passing over Belize, but um, not this year. But maybe when I'm doing South America, I've got 10 months to give myself, or even 11 maybe. The plan is that I'll be home. I'll visit home for a month before I go back to New Zealand. Which pretty crazy because I spent 9 months in New Zealand, right, and that felt like a long time. And now I'm going to be going 2.5 years without coming home. Like, I don't even know how that's going to feel. 2.5 years ago, like, I'm going to be away from home longer than I will have worked, like, at B&Q by the time I leave. Maybe about the same period of time. Yeah, it just blows my mind. But I'm hoping, yeah, to do some diving in Thailand and different things. Yeah. Well, that's where they used to bury their dead. They used to believe dead spirits go down there. Anyway, I'm thinking, so because I've heard funny things about Cancun. Like basically, kind of people say get out of there as soon as you can. So I've heard that Isla Holbox, which is an island further, a lot further south, is a really good place to go. So my plan is that I might, as soon as I can, I might have. I'm probably gonna have to stay a night in Cancun and then go straight to Isla Holbox, like the first bus I can get. Spend a couple of days there, then come back onto the mainland, do Chichen Itza, which is the famous Mayan site with the Mayan pyramid. Do the cenotes around there and visit Valladolid. I think it's like a colonial era city that's got a lot of culture there. Um, Also, Playa del Carmen maybe, or Tulum. Dad, I'm streaming. I don't want to hear about rugby. Okay. Um, Um, yeah, just kind of around there, but we'll see. The problem I'm finding is that if I take, if I get a flight, even if I leave at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and I get to Cancun, the earliest I can get there, unless I spend like £1,500 on a plane ticket, is like 6 p.m. in the evening. So I'm gonna have to stay in Cancun overnight, which I really don't want to do. Um, and But I thought maybe I could try leaving the night before and arrive in Mexico in the morning. But again, those flights are like far too expensive. Um, and if I left the day before that I haven't officially got off of work, like I'd still have the same problem of having to stay a night in Cancun, which is what I'm trying to avoid. I don't know. I just want to avoid a situation where I end up in Cancun and like I don't know anyone and nobody talks to me and I'm just like, oh, this isn't fun. But yeah, my dad's watching the rugby. I don't know how we're doing, but we're against South Africa, I think. He thinks that I like it, but we're winning at the moment, so he's happy. Anyway, we'll do a final kind of sprint. Um, I'll probably stay on reading till later, but my dad will probably want to go to bed, so I'll have to shut up after a little bit. So if we say to about 8:05, another 15 minutes, probably going to carry on reading this, and yeah, and then we'll come back and have another chat and say goodnight. And then I'm probably going to read more of the first binding once I finish this. But I'll definitely be having more sprints and things. So yeah. Anyway, sprinting for 15. I'm going to go get a drink as well. See you guys in 15. Okay, back again. I'm nearly at the end of this first chapter, and I'm really actually pleasantly surprised the way John Key draws it all together. It's really fascinating considering it's all about geology, and dead geologists. Because he talks about these two geologists, Hutton and Werner, and they have completely different ideas. And Hutton is the one that basically suggests that there's a cycle where the mountains are eroded over time, and that soil that comes down into like the farmlands, and eventually that soil, you know, gets taken in the runoff into the sea, where it then forms into the part of the seabed, which then forms stratas of rock, and which are then pushed upwards to form mountains, and it's like this endless cycle. And in the times of the 1800s, they're like, this is like a crazy idea because they all believed in Genesis and 6,000 years of creation. But actually, he was linking it, which was really cool. He was saying that others had reached the same conclusion at least 1500 years earlier. And he goes on talking about Indian cosmology, um, and the Mahabharata, which, if you know, is the Indian epic, which Sons of Darkness, a fantastic book, is based upon. And I love, love, love Sons of Darkness. I'm hoping to get Gurev on the channel at some point because he's written a really stunning book. But I love the way that he talks about this author John connects this formation of mountains in geology to Indian cosmology and Buddhist texts. It's really cool. But you've gone and traumatized yourself, Jenny. Oh my goodness. 259 books in next year's. I have got, like I say, about 58 books, and as of now, that's physical copies. I've got more coming. Um And on my Kindle, I have got the let me see, collections. So I've got 142 on my TBR, another 40 on my priority TBR. So that's 182 plus 18 Malazan novels. So that's, say, another 20. That's like 200, over 200 now. I'm currently reading six, so that's like 206, and then there's another 73 sequels. Uh, so that's at least 290 books on my Kindle. And I keep getting more, plus physical books, which I keep getting more. So that's at least 350 books. I'm trying not to read books on my Kindle because I need to finish these physical books. I need to stop buying physical books and adding to my problems. Um, but yeah, I am like you, Jenny. I have a problem, and I need to admit it. But what I'm trying to do is, bang out books like this one, where it's just like one book, or books like Timothy Wolf, who popped in earlier. His book, he's only got the first one out now, so I'm trying to read all the books that, in terms of priority, it's, first is, has an author sent me it, and I've agreed to review it. Then next on the list is, uh, do I have another copy of the book? Do I have an ebook or an audiobook? Then it's also, is this the first in the series, and is there just one book out? So the ones that, are author copies that I don't have another edition of, that is only the first book out, I'll finish first. Because then I can like bang those out and not worry about having to finish a series. Um, but I'm not sure I'm gonna finish it. Yeah, and I got these 58 books, but also a lot of them are number ones in the series. So and I'd feel a bit awkward if I had to message, you know, authors that sent me books and be like, "Hey, could I have a Kindle edition because I couldn't read it in like the year that you sent me it?" Like, but authors are very understanding and wonderful. But yeah, I really need to knuckle down. But yeah. Yeah, so there's some of them, for example, like Dreams of the Dying, Nicholas Leitzow, that What's really cool is that Spotify is like started audiobooks that you can listen to 15 hours for free. So some of them is like if I got the audiobook of it or I have access or potential to have the audiobook, then it's like okay, that's down in priority because I can read that when I'm gone away to Thailand and traveling. Like, I can listen to that. You know, I'm gonna have plenty of time to do that. Whereas the ones that I know I need to read the physical edition or I won't read it. That's when yeah, and those are the priority ones. But it's really interesting because there's some books that I just need the audio. For example, that Mark Timothy's Blood and Spirit, great book, and the audio is fantastic. And if you can listen to it on Audible or Spotify, go get it because Mark does not get the sales he deserves, and it is a really, really good book. It's like a classic fantasy mixed, sprinkled with a bit of sci-fi, and it has some of the best dungeon crawling I've encountered. But you know, I couldn't not that it's bad at all, but I couldn't get into reading the book itself. But with the audiobook, it's just completely turned around. It's the same with Legacy of the Brightwash, where I struggled to get into it by reading it, but by listening to the audiobook, I can't think of any other way to read it. So I'm really excited that the sequel is coming out on audio on Tuesday. So I've got to finish Blood of the Spear by Tuesday, so that I can go straight to Legacy of Brick and Bone by Crystal Matar. Um, Yeah, yeah, I don't, I've kind of given up on the idea that I'm going to finish all these books, but we keep trying. It really depends because, I read Malazan and I got nearly halfway through, literally like 48% in. And I read that in like 2 weeks, which is like 350 pages. But then it's like hit a halt. Now my mood is wanting this. First binding, Verdi, and I'm 60 pages into that. There's still another like 700 to go. And I don't know when the mood's going to stop that. So I've got like 15, 20 books where I'm like halfway through, three-quarters of the way through, and I just can't, like, the mood's just kind of gone like, nope, you're going to start a new book now. But yeah, anyway, I should probably think about wrapping up now. But it's been wonderful to have everyone has been watching. Thanks to Jenny and to Rachel and Timothy and Mark and all of you that popped in. I'm looking forward to kind of coming back on, hanging out more with you guys, getting more author interviews, starting my other channel, which is going to be more travel, adventure, lifestyle focused, a little bit more of a deep dive into people's lives and kind of having a more formal kind of interview kind of format. So I'm really excited for that and doing some live events and reading lots of books and writing reviews because I really need to write reviews. There's like 6 books I've read that it's like reading a book. I need to be in the mood to write the review for it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I am going to go and finish some more reading tonight. But probably have an early night 'cause got work tomorrow. And catch up later on. I might do a stream on Tuesday. I've got the day off, so I might do a stream on Tuesday evening. Um, and so my Twitter post of talking about I swear it's possible to read 25 books at once. Getting so many funny gifs in response. Anyway, good night, Jenny. And good night, anyone else that's watching this afterwards. And many happy readings. Catch up soon.